Hello there, this is Acer Palmatum Dissectum Emerald Lace. This is a small tree, it's only a couple of foot high, and we've had this potted since about 2014, 2015. I bought this in a supermarket. It was just basically a twig of about 18 inches high, and it didn't have any branches on. Basically it was just almost dead looking. But it's turned out to be one of the best shaped trees that I have. Most of that is obviously natural shape that the tree is put on. I've helped to emphasise the look a little bit with some pruning, just emphasise those layers that the tree naturally has. Obviously over the years it's suffered some years where it's had quite a lot of dieback to some of those smaller branches. In the past couple of years as well, it just seems to be struggling with not putting on or putting out too many leaves, and it's been looking pretty sparse. So early this year it's had a root pulled and a repot, sorry. It was basically put back into that same pot, just an inch or so around the root ball taken off, and into fresh compost and chip bark. But there's one thing that's really given it a lift, and it's made so much difference to its health, and that's the use of rooting powder. Mircorhzial rooting powder are sprinkled on the root ball over the pot when I repotted it. So any rooting powder that had fallen off the root ball just goes into the pot, so you're not wasting any rooting powder. Just a sprinkle round the root ball, a little bit underneath, and this really does give the tree just a complete boost in health. And as you can see there, the tree's got a lot of leaves and it's looking in very good health. I've got one tiny little bit of dieback here, that's all. Now the success we've had on the trees we repotted earlier in the year, I think basically every tree has responded to the rooting powder. It just helps to repair those roots after the repot, after the root prune, and it just gives it so much energy to put out lots of leaves, and also the size of the leaf as well. The leaves go back to the normal size that when the tree's in a really healthy year. Some years they struggle with smaller leaves after repotting that. But to me it's an absolute must to have the rooting powder when you're repotting. So I'm really happy with this one, that it's back to looking how it was probably about 3 years ago. Nice bushy layers. I haven't done any pruning on this tree this year, apart from remove any bits of dieback when it was repotted. So I'll prune that little bit of dieback off shortly. I could, if I want to, sort of do a little bit pruning on those layers just to tidy them up a little bit. As you can see, the joining in the middle there, I could take out 1 or 2 leaves just to give a little bit gap in those 2 layers there, and any sort of messy little leaves that look out of place. But generally I'm very happy with that, so I'm quite content on sort of leaving it. There's a new set of leaves lower down, so I'll leave that as well and see next year if that layer there will take a good shape lower down. If not, I could prune it off. I've also got a couple of sets of leaves here. which again will grow to form new layers in the coming year too, some higher up. Now this tree hasn't really put out many new leaves on the trunk for some years now, and that's obviously down to the rooting powder as well. So hopefully by next year we'll see a little bit more shape to this tree. And as you can see, that layer on the middle of the trunk there will grow to the right and form another layer on the middle right hand side, which should balance the tree out a little bit as well. So that's one of the potted trees I wanted to show just how well it's done since the repotting using rooting powder. I'll keep you informed on this one later in the year, probably in the autumn, and I imagine it'll be a lovely red colour, or possibly with oranges as well. Until next time, bye for now.